Hey Wargamers, the Tau Codex is coming out sometime soon, and Index Xenos 2 has been out for quite a while now, but we still get a lot of questions about what does the keyword Jetpack mean and do. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you like this video, go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell, that way you don't miss any upcoming content. Okay, so the Jetpack keyword, it's something that we see in the index for Tau units like crisis suits, like stealth suits, anything that has a jetpack on its model has the jetpack keyword. And this has caused a lot of confusion because there are no special rules in the index that pertain to that keyword. There's really no purpose for it currently. And so if you're looking at this video just for a short and sweet answer for what the keyword jetpack does, the answer is nothing. It does nothing. But there are some interesting things to consider when looking at why that keyword is there in the first place. So the reason why it is there is so that future rules changes can reference that index and that index entry and still be valid. So things that are in the index can still be used after future rules releases if they are the most current set of rules for that model. So potentially that means that we might see some of the entries in the index not continued going forward. They may not actually show up in the codex. What that might be, that's kind of hard to say because pretty much everything in the index has a model. So I don't know what they would drop and not include in the codex on that basis. But if we look at the Imperial Armor book, the Imperial Armor Index, there are quite a few models included in there that are not in production anymore. So those might be dropped moving forward. But in the core codex, or in the core index in Index Xenos 2, there really isn't anything that seems to be likely to be dropped. But that doesn't mean that it won't be. When the codex does come out, we'll likely see a set of stratagems that affect jetpack-only units. So if I were to have to guess, it'd be something that allows them to move again in the shooting phase or move again in the assault phase, similar to how jetpacks used to work as a baseline rule. Currently, the strategy on GW's part has been moving a lot of the special rules, a lot of the formation rules into stratagems in order to make them a little bit more restricted and not these ubiquitous dummy moves where, well, of course you're always going to do that. Of course you're always going to jump, shoot, jump, because why wouldn't you? Now you actually have to make some decisions if the jump, shoot, jump ability is turned into a stratagem. So there's an economy there that you'll have to consider if that's the route they go. They might also, really just bring back jetpacks as a special rule and allow them to move again in the assault phase even if they don't assault. I would be happy with that. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Again, I think the stratagem is the more likely outcome, especially given that things with jetpacks already have the fly special rule. So the stratagem is the most likely outcome, and that brings another point forward about why jetpack is a keyword in the index despite not having any rules. And that is that maybe they were thinking about including something for jetpacks in chapter approved. It's possible that at the time the index went out, they were starting to think about things that they would include in chapter approved, but they didn't really know exactly what that was going to be. So they put the keyword in there just to kind of future-proof the index in case they wanted to include a jetpack stratagem or special rule in chapter approved. Now, of course, we know what was in chapter approved and there was nothing to do with jetpacks in there, but that doesn't mean that in the future we might see chapter approved address jetpacks after the codex has been released. So again, in that situation, the index needs to still maintain the jetpack keyword in case any of the entries are no longer continued into the codex. So for all those reasons, the inclusion of the jetpack keyword in the index makes sense. It basically future-proofs the index against things that are going to address jetpack units, but it doesn't have any function today. So we are eagerly anticipating the release of the new Tau Codex. Probably going to happen in the first half of 2018, but we don't know exactly when. And when it does happen, I'm sure we'll get some pretty juicy rules that go along with it, just because the jetpack really is an iconic part of the Tau army. Being able to jump, shoot, jump in the past was a critical component of many people's strategies, and really something that was flavorful and you know, really made the army work for me personally. So I look forward to seeing what those rules are, but we'll just have to wait and find out. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think the special rules for Jetpack will be in the comments below, and of course, happy wargaming. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank all my patrons over on Patreon. Your support really makes a difference for me, and I really appreciate it. Special thanks goes out to NoExcusesPanda, Paul Leuders, TauOswell, Andy Young, Peter Benjamin Parker, Deverson, and Giovanni DiMaggio. You guys rock, thank you. If you liked this video particularly well, head on over to Patreon and consider joining our community over there. Thanks as always, and happy wargaming.